are used as IATA, what we are doing here. And one example of our work where I'm involved as well is, of course, the use of the airspace in the future with the unmanned aerial vehicles, for example, for operational meteorological issues and the airline view on that. One challenge, if I want to be very honest to you, one challenge is at the moment that we have problems. In the past, the last years, it was an increasing problem. At the moment, it's decreasing. That some operators of drones, we call it malicious or unfriendly or uncooperative drones, have disturbed our, I would say, our business, because immediately when we have a sighting or an observation of a drone, we have to stop our operation, and this is of course not very nice for passengers and for all of us, because it's a risk. It's a very risky item, and I consider this is really a hard time for all of us if we are having to stop our operation. For example, in March, I was traveling from Madrid to Frankfurt, end of February, and then there was a drone observation. The airport in Madrid was blocked by 2 hours. And when I flew back from Frankfurt to Madrid, it was on the Saturday. I will never forget. At 8 o'clock, there was Frankfurt Airport close by, an observation of drones. We call it drones or RPA. So is really a challenge. Beside the fact that the drones and the drone industry and all what they are doing is fantastic, because we have plenty of fantastic ideas, projects already running, and this is really enormous. What can be done with these drones, and I'm really happy that I'm also was able to work as an instructor for the people. But when it comes to this disturbing of our business, it's not very nice. I can tell you, we have plenty of problems. So, and I'm working on that together with airports, with drone operators, as with the ANSP. I'm working on that, and we need, first of all, to ensure that the airports are out of our business, of our area around the airport. It is between 1.5 and 5 kilometers at the moment. In some areas we have 8 kilometers. And then we have to be sure that there is a legal and administrative sanctions for the using of this RPA in this unsafe and dangerous manner. And our IATA primary concern is drones flying at low altitudes near airports that could threaten planes taking off or landing. Can you imagine what happens if a drone, I would say with 2 meters the diameters, and carrying very heavy batteries? It will be a really enormous impact on our engines. Any question or what concerns? What are you looking? Are you still there?
Yes, I think it's very clear. Thank you.
So, and to be clear, we have already, we had in London Gatwick 2 years ago, there was a huge impact on London Gatwick. They have closed for 36 hours the airport. London Heathrow was the next one, and then it was in Dubai, in Frankfurt, and wherever. It was really, I would say, an enormous amount of money what we have lost. Millions and millions and passengers, and my daughter was stuck in London Heathrow, and she was calling me, and I said, what can I do? At the moment you can only do take a train ticket, and then you are coming back home. And I think you are aligning with me that this is not the best solution. Instead of taking a train, if it's planned, okay, but if it's not planned, it's not so nice. This was really a game changer and an eye-opener for plenty of people, that this drone challenge will cost 64 million euro just in December 2018, and thousands of flights have been cancelled, and 140,000 passengers could not fly wherever they want, and this was really hard. And they stopped in London Heathrow at the 8th of January again, the operation. And you can see plenty of videos about that. And the next step, what we are doing, this is with IATA and with EASA, and because some people ask me about the difference between FAA and EASA. There is no difference. The only difference is that we are working here in Europe with a different wording. We are talking about U-space, as I said before, and the Americans are using the name UTM, also unmanned traffic management. And this is really an interesting stuff. And I just want to, because you are young, you are motivated. The biggest momentum at the moment is in this area. I have to be clear. We have so many people working on that issue at the moment that I'm always surprised. I will say how they are doing this. Our Alexandre Dejoniac, our DG and CEO, he said this is not in our I would say a safe operation. And we have formed, and I was the founder of an initiative in Europe, where what we call "We Are All One in the Sky," to avoid future disturbance. And I would say not working together. My idea was to bring all the associations, airlines, ANSPs, and also industry together to manage these kind of I would say opportunities on one side, and on the other side to avoid cancellation in the future due to stupid things. And we have to look for solutions on tracking, on avoiding this kind of situation. What is the status in Europe? I'm working with EASA in this certified regulation, though we have already published our open category with low risk, where they're carrying 25 kilogram in the visual line of sight. You can fly a maximum of 120 meters in Europe. It is just between 400 and 500 feet. And you can category with fly over close and far from people. This if you are carrying it properly, and if you have your training, or if you have already some licenses for model flying or something, it could be a very fantastic idea. Making nice videos, and I'm pretty sure that you have seen already plenty of videos in the past. Nearly every, I would say, blockbuster and Hollywood film is using drones at the moment to make the fantastic pictures from above. The next one was the specific category that was between zero and open category. We need this for the national authority. You need a declaration, you need to have a training and the license, and it can be done also in the behind visual line of sight. For example, if you're going for inspections, aerial work, transport of goods, it is possible, and already published as well. And finally, we are working currently on the certified category. It will be hopefully next year in January, February. It will be finished, and then after 1 year, it will be come into state. And here we are talking about really carrying passengers, really carrying cargo, and this is a very, very interesting stuff. But it needs a lot of, I would say, additional thoughts and taking care. And this is a very, I would say, complicated process, because you have to take care about all the ICAO regulations. So this is just a little overview. Here are all the members of the We Are All One in the Sky initiative. You see that we are aligning with all these international and European associations. This is again our safety, and you can see here we have already included our UAS UAV topic here as the safety, I would say, column. And the protection, prevention, and neutralization. As we are not military, we cannot, and we are not allowed, and we will not shoot down a drone, because the military is doing it. For them, it's easier because they can just send a rocket or can do something. What we can do is we have projects running in Amsterdam, in Geneva, in other areas, in Dubai, where we are fetching a drone, a malicious drone by a bird. It's a falcon, and they are catching it, or we can do it by a net, or by some other issues, or by another drone. Bring it down, but we cannot fire, and we will not fire. And this is at the moment the only thing. The problem is at the moment the tracking and the protection, and to make sure that it is an unfriendly drone and not a friendly drone. Here is as well the current ICAO system real control. We are working on that. You have to understand, in each area, if it's in India, in China, in Africa, there are fantastic, great projects running. For example, for meteorological issues, we have balloons. For example, in Kenya, we have balloons from Google or Alphabet. They are flying the so-called loon balloons. They are flying, and they are doing a good job because they are providing internet in Africa. You have heard about that? Our dear friend from Nigeria, who was it? Singto?
Oh, yes, I'm here.
You are still here?
Yes, I am.
Yeah. Have you heard about the loons, the balloons for internet in Africa?
No, I haven't.
So this is very interesting. Also, please, you are young, you are fresh. This is really fantastic. In some areas where, for example, where there is not the infrastructure, but the people they want and they need for plenty of good reasons internet. There will be in 60,000 feet. There will be a balloon positioned, and then you have, I would say, a good relationship with the internet provider, and then you can do your WebEx or Zoom or whatever, or you can buy and sell, and you can do everything what you want.
Okay.
Yeah. Also, if you go for flight radar 24, if you go to Kenya or in Bogota in South America and in America, you can see they are tracked. You can see where they are. Just go on loon.
Okay, but I don't think it's in a lot of countries in Africa, right?
No, not yet. This is still a project, but I think it will come. Also, at the moment, what I heard is it's promising.
Okay.
And for the meteorological system, they are using it since, I would say, I'm pretty sure more than 80 years already. Also, because my father was already, he was in the military. He was not a fighter. He was a meteorologic guy, and he sent up the balloons just for getting information about weather, wind stream, and temperature. So this is already used, balloons.
Okay, that's interesting. I would look into it. I believe that NIMET in Nigeria should have something, and I'll probably find out.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, please. It's a pleasure. Of course, inside these meteorological prototypes, what we are already using, just an example, with these balloons and everything, as well, we can use drones, because we have, for example, very slow drones already in not only balloons. They are flying in 4 weeks up to a special condition, and then they are coming down after a while, 6 months. Very, very slow, but they are doing also a very good job. So you can see that in the context of the swim concept, according to the ICAO regulation, we have already fantastic ideas. It's again, if it's controlled, if it's tracked, there is absolutely a positive element and effects in here for the use of the unmanned systems, new entrants. The only thing is we have to be clear that we have to know where they are, when they are coming down, when they are going up, and then you can handle this traffic. And if it's not in the environment or a surrounding of an airport, it's easy for them as well. So Again, IATA is not against this idea. The only thing is, please stay away from our airports. And if you want to work with us, you have to go with us. This is the forecast and the observations. I don't want to bother you. We have plenty of good projects, significant project with swim concept and meteorological, because it's very important. So it's a win-win situation. This is good for the drones, for the industry, and for our forecast for our people as well. So that was my little, I would say, a little sidestep to the next point. What I want to share, this is according to what we have done here to the drones. Any question? I saw Valentine. He saw already 16 balloons from above Kenya. Yeah, and Uganda. Very good observed. Good, very good. So you see, there is more in the air what we can do. The only thing is that we have to take care that it is safe and that we are doing the right thing at the right moment. I hope you can understand that IATA and myself, we are very, very keen working on that to ensure that it will work and will go in the right direction. So, questions? Yeah, Peru, of course. Peru, above. Yeah, that's good. I'm happy that you are aware about that. And again, yeah, it's a Airbus Cipher collaboration. Yes, of course. Yeah. And my former colleague is the head of this project, or was the head of this project, and now he's working for Airbus. It's very interesting. So give me just a minute, and then I'm back with another sidestep, because I have to switch to another presentation. So I hope it was mouth-watering for you for this one. And then I want to share the next one as well. So, as you have heard, you can see TBS 2020 Human Resource Management.
Yes, we can see the slide, yeah.
Okay, thank you. Coming from, also again, I was an engineer, I was a fleet captain and deputy chief pilot from Lufthansa. I know everything about this, and my hobby and my second or third idea was to help people as well for human resource management. And I'm critical incident stress manager as well. And I like to train people flying better. And on top of that, I'm also interested in artificial intelligence and human versus robots flying autonomous. And normally, if we would be in a room, I have always some funny games with me, so where we can find out who can do better, the robot or you as your students. And it is always nice to see the students working against a robot. But sorry, unfortunately, we cannot do it. I cannot show it at the moment. But maybe we have another chance. Okay? Trust me, it would be nice with you. But I have a little presentation always with me. You see, I'm coming from the 380 project. You can imagine when it was done, my pleasure to work on this, I would say, robot flying autonomous and with all these kind of things. It was also interesting and to work on that. We have the full story of the A380. And what I'm always using is some examples. How can we be with a prognosis from the so-called declared experts can turn out to be very risky. You see, don't trust anybody, please. Make your own experience. This only the month. Sometimes it's better. So, for example, Mr. Lord Kelvin, you know that we have the Kelvin scale, the Celsius scale, the Fahrenheit scale. He was the president 1895 of the Royal Society in England, and he first powered flight by the Wright brothers December 1903. And 1895, he said heavier than air flying machines are impossible. So it took 8 years, and then the Wright brothers, they flew already with heavier than the air. Next month, it was Mr. Watson, the chairman of IBM. I think there is a world market of maybe 5 computers. I don't have to mention how many computers, laptops, and tablets we are using at the moment. You see how interesting these people, these very knowledgeable people can be. And finally, it was Lee de Forêt, inventor of the cathode tube, CRT, and he mentioned in 1957, despite all technical improvements, mankind will never fly to the moon. And I would say 12 years later, Neil Armstrong, on the 21st of July, he made the first step on the moon. You can imagine, it's interesting, how wrong these so-called expert can be. This can happen with me as well. Also, don't quote me or do it, but laugh about me in 10 years' time, maybe. Compared manned versus unmanned. The manned world is or was sometimes seen as that we are, I would say, conservative. Yes. That we are evolutionary, that we are organized, and we have a special safety culture. Yeah, it's all is right, but how can we do this without a pilot? You have seen these fantastic ideas, what I just presented, and we have seen the balloons and everything. And we have to think twice before we are judging these kind of things. And for example, the unmanned world is very innovative, is revolutionary, and is it organized? Do they have a safety culture? And here it comes to my personal, I would say, job is my job. We are all One in the Sky initiative was from the beginning. I want to make sure that we are aligning our initiatives, that we are doing it together, that we are doing it maybe better. And because I'm coming from the classic ATM, as you will see, where I was the project leader of the A380. I hope you agree that sometimes you have to think twice or maybe 3 times before you are making a statement. What do you think? In your business already. So, for example, we have between us, we have Mandy from Toulouse. She is in a business. She's running a business, or she was in a business. And what is your experience, Mandy, on making decisions? She's not there anymore. She fell asleep. Thibaut, Julien, whoever. Who wants to give me an insight? You're too shy. Can anybody hear me?
Yes,
we can hear you.
we can hear you.
But you are too shy to say. Is it always right, the first idea to do, or is it sometimes better to think twice?
It's always better to think twice.
Okay. So, and why we have to think twice here? Look. There was an idea in the 1990s. There was an idea between Boeing and Airbus to produce a double-decker. a special double decker, because the 747 existed before, and they made a study, and Airbus was saying that there is a need for approximately 1,500, between 750 and 1,500 A380, or in this time it was not, it was A3 XX. The Boeing said no, there's only a demand for a maximum of maybe 500. So they stopped the project from the Boeing side, and Airbus, they said we are continuing. And it was a pleasure for me when I was asked by Lufthansa, by my management, to be the project leader for the airlines, and I went with my family to Toulouse, and then we started in 2002 building up the hangar and everything. And I was thinking twice before, is it really realistic? As I said, but I was very, very, I would say, fresh, and I was younger at this time, and of course I was totally motivated. The 380 compared to the 747 was at this time the biggest challenge. But the difference was not only that the dimensions, the length and the height is more, it was also that we thought in Airbus and in Lufthansa, that we thought that with this aircraft we can run our business better. And we are using only, if you can see it here, we are using only 3 liters per 100 kilometers. Can you see here? This was the challenge and the final decision maker for Lufthansa, because we want to fly below 3 liters per passenger and 100 kilometers. And the 747 was not able to do this due to the engines, restricted engines. And then suddenly they came up with the 747-800. Then Lufthansa bought plenty of them. And finally, we are going now, as you all know, we are going now, the 777X will carry even the same amount of passengers, 400, with less than 2.5 liter if they are the max capacity on the passenger side. Don't forget, this calculation is always if the aircraft is really full with passengers. If you have only half of the passengers, and this is the reason today during the COVID crisis, you cannot handle, because then you have to, then you're using 6 liters, for example, if you have 50% load factor, and this is not very efficient, and it brings no money in the pocket. You have seen this before, I guess. Or any question to this development between 747 and A380?
Yes, just a fast question, please. That important difference between 747 and A380, is it mainly due to the fact that the Boeing was way older than the A380? I mean, in terms of components, for example, with composite applications, is it linked to this, or?
Yeah, it's partially linked to this. Don't forget, we are using on the 380, we are using glare. This was the first time that a huge, enormous amount of composite glare material is a little bit different to carbon. It was used. It was not so heavy anymore, but it was very strong material. And we are using in the 380, we have used already plenty of carbon materials, and this was never done for the 747-400. Now they are Boeing changing as well the system, and of course Airbus was the first time using 5,000 psi pressure, and due to the increase of hydraulic pressure, you could reduce some other elements. And you can also reduce the amount of pressure lines. So we have saved, for example, 2 tons of material, Airbus, just to have this different new hydraulic system. You see, step by step, everything was lighter, and they thought about something new. In the future, and today what we are using, we are printing elements on 3D printers. You have seen maybe some videos, and I was in Toulouse a few months ago before the COVID crisis, and I have printed myself on a 3D printer, and in part what was the normal weight was 1 kilo. And with the printing of the 3D, it was only 450 gram. So because it was not possible on a solid material. Also all these elements, less hydraulic systems, less weight, different engines, of course, and the design of the aircraft for Dreamliner and later on 350 was really the game changer.
Oh, okay. Okay, thank you very much. That was really clear.
Yeah. And as you see, the 747-800 was also an innovative because they have used the new Rolls-Royce engine and General Electric, the NX, and they have now reduced, and they have other wings. You can see it immediately. They are different. They have no sharp winglets anymore. They are very designed like a bird wing. And this is also a fantastic idea. It brings a lot of less of drag and is more efficient. So the next important step was, and this is not the end of the story, it was the 747, the footprint of the noise was also a disturbing factor in the past always, and thanks to the evolution, you have seen it, evolution not revolution, we are using less and less CO2, we are reducing the smoke parts and the NOx parts, and this is an enormous evolution from 747, for example, to this 380-800, and if today we have the 350, what I have not here included at the moment, you can the engines are nearly so silent that you have reduced it by another 30% the footprint, and this is absolutely a must to be considered from an airline point of view, to be a good neighborhood with all the citizens who are living here in this area or at Leer. They don't want to hear an aircraft. They only want to see it. And for this, don't forget, this is an old, but it's still the one A380 is a middle management, and it's really a company with 400 employees. So you can imagine, Lufthansa had 14 A380, 14. The original plan was to have 16, but we had at the end we had 14. You can imagine 400 employees. 14 times how many employees suddenly are unemployed during the COVID crisis. I just want to give you a flavor of that. Yeah, this is more than 5,000 employees only on this A380. I would say around these 14 aircraft, which are parked, long-term parked until 2022 for Lufthansa at least. Some others will not fly anymore, like Air France and British Airways. Lufthansa wants to bring them back. At the moment, the plan. You see, this is really a shame that we cannot use, and you cannot imagine how complicated it is to keep the license. For example, even if you want to fly the A380, we have in Lufthansa, in some other airlines, Emirates is doing is different. We have the problem that they have not the proper license anymore. Even if you want to fly, so for example, we have some mission flights to Australia or to South America or South Africa. They try to order in 380. And then you have to check the crew is available. What can be considered about coming back to a service, and so many items what you have to declare. So you have to make your decision today. Stop the operation under all circumstances, and the restart will take at least a minimum of 3 to 6 months for all these fleets. I have to say. Sorry. But as I said, I'm optimistic because now Airbus and Boeing can sell more other aircrafts like 350 or like the Dreamliner, because it's also nice. Here, as your question was done, here you can see the dimensions already about the capacity, the wingspan, and what I said already. The carbon material, the IT system was different, and the public agenda. We had a lot of high expectations, and the enormous economic importance was this time taking into account that the capital cost was very, very high, but the operating cost per seat was lower than in any other aircraft at this time. And it was, of course, a flagship role, because in the past, every and each airline was happy to have at least a few, or if not one, but a few A380 on board in the fleet. Just another item, in Lufthansa, we built a special hangar for this beautiful bird. It was really amazing what was done there. They had a special one, and they are using it for other aircrafts at the moment. And we have 4 A380 are parked in front of this in Frankfurt at the moment. 4. Here you see the hangar. It was one of the best hangar. There was full of light, and the capacity was for 4 380 or 6 Boeing 747. And again, the people's workspace was for 400 to 800 licensed mechanics, avionics, and engineers. They have all at the moment, at least for the 380, they have no work at the moment. So now again, the Single European Sky. I'm just refreshing you, and then we are making a little coffee break. The basics was done already 1960. Can you believe me? When I was born, plenty of years ago, I was in favor of the fabulous 4. It was the Beatles, and our current ATC system is using the same technology in plenty of aircrafts. Can you believe me? Isn't it fantastic? So now we have the 380. This is one of my favorite pictures I want to share with you. You have to say, oh. And then we had plenty of, I would say, incidents. We have, for example, the volcanic ash. You remember this a few years ago, where all the traffic was blocked due to the Eyjafjallajökull from Iceland. And we saw that it's nothing. It was absolutely nothing coordinated in Europe. It was such a disaster between airlines and between authorities and between the Commission. There was nobody able to handle this at this time. It was such a shame for the entire aviation industry. Can you imagine this situation in 2000, and we are still nearly in the same? We have so many ATM organizations in Europe. We are so fragmented. Maybe later on we have these 9 functional air blocks as we are working on that. But in the United States, there's nearly the same airspace. We have more hubs. We have one organization. We have en route controller centers. We have operating system, one, and we have 2 softwares. We have the ATC controllers, and we have the costs compared to Europe. We are a little bit different now, but I just want to bring you to the point. Is there a need to act, to do something for the future, and why we are still waiting for the Single European Sky, that we are not able to handle this in the coordinated, I would say, or in the common airspace? This is such an enormous loss in our money. This is still nearly the same after so many years. Next, as I said, overview is just, jawohl, we are doing it correctly. We are working on the functional airspace blocks. We are working on Single European Sky. And The only thing what is really doing well at the moment, and we are all agreed, also this is nothing because it's Manfred or it's IATA, without single European sky ATM research and all these projects where we can test if a solution is really working on drones, on classic ATM issues, on flying 4D, functional use of airspace, and so on. It is really thanks to the money coming from all the partners. And on top of that, of course, we need a regulatory framework. And as I said, it's not anymore the single European sky only. It is a single European sky 2 plus. And at the moment, we are talking about plus plus. Also, this is the latest situation. I just want to bother you. And aim to be unique. This is the final goal is in Europe. Do it together. Do it aligned as an institutional regulation. We need to act now, and we have to be more active here. And thanks to your help for the future, I will be out of this business in a few months, but I hope that you can step in my footprints, and then you are continuing, you are finalizing this single European sky idea, and then we have no borders, at least for the future. It will be borderless flying between A to B, and not changing all the frequencies all the time. What is the social impact and the competence in aviation? For example, Lufthansa, before the crisis, they had 130,000 employees worldwide. They want to reduce it to 100,000, so they want to get rid of or redundant of 30,000 people in Lufthansa. IATA, we have already reduced our staff by 20%. Just end of the year, we have 20% less employees. But most of the people, they got already a new job. Not everybody, but plenty of them are retiring, like myself, because I want to give my job to a young lady. She is coming from Finlandia. She is very intelligent. She has a lot of power, and she speaks all the languages, from Finland to Spanish to French and English and German. So it's fantastic to bring this in good hands. Lufthansa is working with 146 nations. This is unbelievable. In my career, I met people in Africa, in South America, in Asia, and it was always an enormous, I would say, benefit for me, for myself, and I hope for the people as well, to meet and greet and working, and at the end, after the work, to drink something, a cocktail or a Coca-Cola or whatever, and it was really fantastic. We have so many training opportunities. I was responsible for, in total, I've collected that 15,000 people went over my training. Sometimes 2 hours or a coaching session, and sometimes a long period. This kind of 300 millions is Lufthansa spending only on training, on qualification. And for these jobs in 2017, believe me or not, we had already 120,000 people applied for positions, for jobs, mechanics, pilots, whatever. And at the end, 5,000 got, I would say, a good job, which are at the moment sometimes a little bit on risk. But again, I'm confident that we are coming back. We are coming back, and this will be my hope for you as well. So have a safe and pleasant flight, and even by train maybe, and with a mask. So 20 minutes break if you have if you don't have any question.
Maybe I have a question, if I may.
Yes, please.
So you were talking about the SCS initiative, and earlier in the lecture, in the first session, you did talk about the very slow progress in terms of innovation when it comes to air traffic systems.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think this slow innovation rate can be a huge impact in implementing the SES concept?
Yes, in the past it had a huge, enormous impact. But again, I'm talking about the political willingness. This is my biggest concern. The politicians are fighting, and the ANSPs are fighting between themselves for money. Don't forget, it's an enormous cost factor for the airlines. It is the third biggest cost factor. We have the fuel is number one, the staffing. The employments are the number two, and the ANSP charges are number three. You can imagine this is very, very important to reduce these kind of things. And as your question is good, I think it was too slow, but they learned the lesson, and thanks to plenty of, I would say, new people and innovating ideas. For example, from the European Commission with the Green Deal. The Green Deal is giving us, I think, a good push even for the aviation industry, if we do it right: green, sustainable, and more efficient. Thanks for your question. I hope it answers.
Yes, it does. Thank you.
It's not perfect. Also don't please forgive me but it's not perfect. But I want to stimulate you to ask this question, because otherwise I think it's not correct. We are doing it. I think very hard. We are working hard on that, but it will take time. So if there's no other question, I think we can come back on 2:15. Is it okay for you? 1415.
Yes, thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
Just, I need a coffee, sorry. My voice. I guess it was clear, huh?
Okay. At least I did not see the result. So
okay, and I will wait. Sometimes it's hard to bring it back here. This. Hide small. Why is it not? The Zoom is nice, huh? But sometimes if you are looking for something, you cannot find it. The meeting control. I cannot bring it back. Why? Yeah, anyway, I will try later. So I have, and I hope I can still share my. You see the COVID-19 IATA risk protocol?
Yes,
Yes.
we can see it.
Okay, here is the end polling. Wait, now I have it. Share the results. You can see 95%. Yeah, this is our biggest challenge at the moment. These uncertainties in restrictions and quarantines, it's changing every week and nearly every day sometimes. And it's not the price, it is not the risk being infected. And this is interesting to hear also from you, that you're not scared to fly, if I have correctly understood your polling. So if there would be a free, unrestricted flying possibility, you are not scared about sitting in a aircraft in a cabin. Is it correct? Please tell me.
Yeah, not at all.
Even for me, it's totally fine.
Okay. So then we have done our job as association. We have done our job properly, to be honest, because I have explained in plenty of, I will say, plenty of meetings. I have done my job correct because I explained how the air conditioning is working. First of all, the air conditioning is a very special and very important technology in the aircraft. Not due to COVID. It was already in the past, but we had plenty of viruses. We had influenza, we have chicken flu, everything. So the airlines and the manufacturers they have taken care about this issue as well. So we have installed an enormous amount of filter in the distribution lines. So there's a huge chunk of filter. They call it high particular filter, HEPA, so-called HEPA, and they are collecting and destroying 99.9% of all the viruses because they are very strict. And the airflow goes from the above to the ground, to the floor, from the ceiling to the floor, and we need this direct change because we have this pressure exchange for our passengers when we are flying. So we are filtering and changing the entire cabin air in 2.5-3 minutes. So this is more than in each other, I would say, room. Even in the operation, when it goes to a surgery and the hospital, they cannot do it. They are changing it between 5 and 8 minutes only in the best hospitals. So you see how important it is to explain this kind of things. So, and you have understood and you believe. That's good. So you see on this slide what I have shared with you. You see that when does it start? It was in December last year in Wuhan. You know this. And IATA was aware about that. The World Health Organization made a clear statement as well. And the first the first tested case in Europe was in Munich. There was a lady. She was coming from Wuhan on a huge company from Bavaria. She was coming back, and she was the first, I would say, patient number 0. In Europe, and at this time nobody has really a clue about what will come next. And in March it was already clear that we have a safety directive, and then we declared it was declared on the 13th of March latest as a world spreading COVID-19 pandemic. So you see, it has needed 2.5 months to come to this solution. Are you aware about that? So it's 2.5 months. It took 2.5 months from the beginning to the World Health Organization to make a clear pandemic statement. It's just fact. Then in March, there was more activities, and we started with our guidance activities about aircraft cleaning, disinfections, crew management. How can we proceed with this new aircraft configurations? Are we safe when we are flying? What can we avoid in this content? And then there was a transport of cargo and passengers aircraft need, because plenty of aircraft are grounded, or nearly 90% of the entire fleet was in some areas complete grounded. And this was a very interesting time for the cargo industry, because we had not enough cargo capacity. All the airplanes have been full with, I would say, with masks, with sanitaries, with cleaning, disinfection material, and so on and so on. And it was an enormous demand. And due to the fact that the manufacturers and the airlines are very, very, I would say, reactive, and they have innovation, they put out the seats out of some aircraft. You have seen all these pictures maybe, and I was in Frankfurt. We have removed plenty of seats from 330 just to carry a mask and some other stuff from China on top of our mission flights, because don't forget we had 1,200 flights only just for the mission flights bringing passengers back from Australia, New Zealand, South Africa, South America, wherever. It was unbelievable. And 50% of the flights have been paid by the government. So it was for France, it was so, and it was really, I would say, an enormous effort working together. And I personally was positive surprised that the nations have understood that they have to work together. So we took French people. French people have been carried by Air France military or Air France flights. It was really fantastic to see how it works without asking, do you have a ticket or not? You want to go home? You have to go home? Then just let's go it. And this was really, I think it was in March, April. It was really fantastic to see at least this people, they have understood in this crisis you have to stick together. I hope you had the same experience. Was anybody involved in this kind of mission flight? Nobody. Good, even better. So you're all safe at home. That's good. Then when we have done this, we have been working with IATA on this aviation health safety protocol. And IATA was a member, and I was the chairman of some working groups on cleaning and disinfection. And then we came out with the launch of the program and the monitoring about all these issues. You see how important our business is, and just to bring you up on this timeline, in June. We had already the first review of aviation safety issue arising from the COVID-19 pandemic. So what we have done is we have brought everything together, what was in our knowledge, and then we have written together the second issue, the 2.0 Aviation Health Safety Protocol. This is one of the best documents that I have ever seen. It was produced in such a short time period, because all the people have been so interested to come up in 1 month to reopen the intra-European borders, because otherwise you cannot fly under the circumstances. So in the 1st of July, we had a really fantastic aviation health safety protocol. And if you are an airport, for example, in Madrid, if you are saying, yes, I am working according to this health safety protocol, then everybody can fly into Spain, into Madrid, Barcelona, Malaga, and everything. This was an enormous, I would say, work with all the experts from all the stakeholders. Then on 17th July, we had the role of operators management system. All the airlines and the management from the airlines, they came together and agreed that they have to plan a recovery phase plan when it comes back to normal, because otherwise you cannot fly, because all the aircraft are grounded. We have to restart we have to make guidance for the restart and to recover and bring them back in the air. It is there are standard procedures from Airbus, Boeing, Embraer. We have some protocols, we have some guidelines and maintenance handbooks, and so. But it was needed special under these conditions. We have to make sure that it is in line with this safety protocol. Then we have to do our guidance for the aircraft storage and restorage, coming back to operation. And this was done under the IATA Airport Airline Protocol on the 23rd of July. This was an enormous handshake there. And we had some virtual classrooms. Everybody, if you are interested, for example, you can go free of charge to these kind of distance learning, and you can learn, and you can be taught and will be instructed how I do my job. For example, for the guidance on the cabin crew, because cabin crew needs some information, recurrent training. Cockpit crew, of course, they are doing it in the simulator. To keep the license up and valid. This is most important because, for example, as I said before, sometimes it will take 3 or 6 months to bring back a complete entire fleet, because you need one aircraft by the other, and then you have to train the pilots, you have to train the cabin crew, then you have to make the medical checks, and so on and so on. It's a very long way. So keep them up on speed. And then you can do, at least with 1 or 2 aircrafts, you can do some good jobs. And then we had on the November we had this done. This job was done, and finally we have returned to service the aircraft from storage and carrying cargo in passenger aircraft. Everything was done in such a short. Enormous short period. It was never done, because normally, to be very honest, EASA is not the fastest in the world. But here, it was really tough. It was good. So, and if you want to see this again, or the details, here are the HTTPS. You can click on the EASA homepage, and all these informations are available if you want to know more a little bit about this. Everything is free of charge. You can have a look, and if you want to study it, it is possible. Yeah, and then we believe that the traffic will recover. It looks nice in July, August. It was promising. In September, the figures are back to 18,000, as I said. But then happens is the second wave came back, because the people, they have not been so strict with the quarantine. They have not too strict with meeting people. And this was the reason maybe that we have plenty of new, I would say, infections all over Europe and in the other parts of the world. Some are better, some are not so good. And together with the EASA, we have done it for the manufacturers and support the general aviation. And finally, the project is still ongoing. This is not the end of the story. And then somebody asked for the vaccination transportation, support the industry getting ready for the mission of the century. We call it the mission of the century. Yeah, it is not easy, I can tell you. There is a special drafted guidance already available. I have forgotten who asked for this. There was one question. If you want,
it was
yeah.
me.
Alvin?
Yes.
Yeah. If you want to go deeper and you want to dig deeper, go on the EASA homepage and you will see immediately as a dedicated course. There's a course, because we have at this stage, when it was written here, we have not been 100% sure how deep we have to be carried. At the moment, the one vaccination issue is allowed to be just in a cool area, and some other vaccination material needs 74 degrees on the Celsius scale, and this is not so easy to handle, because this ice, this dry ice and everything is producing a lot of CO2. When it's melting, and you cannot carry, I would say, 10 million lots with you. You can only carry maybe 500,000 or 1 million. So it makes a big difference how deep it will be cooled down. And if it's 74 degrees minus, then you have to be very careful with carrying this. Although there are plenty of things, and this is all written in dangerous good part of the EASA regulation. Alvin, if you want to to know more, you can look on the IATA homepage, please.
Sure, thank you.
Because otherwise it's too detailed, and the others are maybe not so interested in that. So, but it is published since the 1st of December, the guideline, because we know a little bit more, and you can just look on that. Then we had the implementation of the aviation health. Here you can see how many airport operators are working today together. It was unbelievable. I have never seen so many experts and really subject matter experts on this issue, and they have been interested. And we had more than 100 airports. They are reporting the ideas, the experience, they have been shared, and I think most of us have understood the urgency of this kind of work. The problem between all this was always that we could not react fast enough for the quarantine and for all the new regulations coming from the politicians. I'm not complaining. I'm just telling you the truth. The airlines and the operators, they have, of course, they have the special interest. They want to fly the passengers from A to B and very safe, of course. The problem was that some areas have developed different. For example, in Sweden was open. There was nearly nothing. They said, oh, we are in some areas. They have not even worn nose and mouth protection. Now they have the highest death rate in Europe, Sweden. Since a few days, I got the figures. It's enormous compared to the public citizens, to the amount of citizens population. They are close to the American relationship, because the Americans at the moment, the US are the highest. They have the highest death rate due to some, I would say, political issues there. You see. This was, of course, a challenge for the politicians making the right decisions. The other one is, of course, then the reaction is different. So Austria, they said, oh, we are over the wave one. They opened immediately the borders, and they want to bring back Austria soon as possible, very, very soon. The same was realized in Belgium. Both countries have been very hard hidden by the second wave. And my colleagues here from Belgium, from Brussels, they know what I'm speaking about, because it was really the highest rate for a few weeks in Europe, in Belgium. It was unbelievable what happened there when I saw the pictures of my friends in the hospitals. So you see, again, I'm not complaining who's better, who is doing worse. It's just the change of from the northern part to the southern part, and then it was Spain hidden, and it was before, at the beginning it was Italy, so it was very hard. But the airline industry, we stick together, and we said, without any doubt, we have to work together, and we have to analyze and we have to share our experience. Most important, share your experience. So this is my little speech on that, and we have an implementation protocol. Can we carry baggage? There was some uncertainties about is it allowed to carry one baggage in the cabin or nothing at all? Because some airlines and they said, no, we don't carry any baggage anymore. Who is flying without baggage? No, sometimes it's me, but because when I'm flying on business, but this is all these things are not, I would say, this is not complete bringing down our business, but it's very hard and very disturbing when you are in a safety control and security check, and then the people are calling you, we say, nasty or something, because you have just your bag with you. This is not okay, and we have to think about that. So, and here we had some models considering the airport environment, the onboard aircraft. What can we do? And surprise, surprise, I'm flying plenty of times between Spain, France, because my wife is in Toulouse, and I'm in Frankfurt or in Spain. Believe me or not, yes, it is possible to fly with social distance or with physical distance, and it's possible to stick on your seat before they open the door. For thinking twice why I'm always going up and putting everything together, sticking. So waiting until the seat and the row will be called by the crew, and then you go up, and then you are picking up your bag, and then you're going out. Yes, it is possible. I was really impressed that the people are really respecting these regulations and going 1.5 meter out, in and out. This is possible. Also, the discipline, they learn the discipline now. I can tell you. So maintain the clean air and surfaces. Yeah, we are taking care about that as well, inside the aircraft and outside in the surrounding of the aircraft. We have some experimentals with UVC filters, ultraviolet filters, and we are doing some tests here, and it's very promising. Ultraviolet light is destroying some virus, and the replacement of, as I said before, from the HEPA filters is very good. The problem is sometimes at the airport and the gate. The gates are sometimes a little bit not so ventilated. The quality in the gate when you're going from the building to the aircraft, this is really a problem. So you have to be very strict with separation of these kind of passengers. You see, also we are thinking about nearly everything. Cleaning of the surface inside the aircraft. What shall we do? What kind of protection? Can we do it in 30 minutes transit time? Is it possible? No, it's not possible. We need some more time to make sure that all the tablets and everything is cleaned properly, and the armrests and everything. This is really a challenge for the airline industry. So you see, we have taken care about your physical distancing. Yeah, this is the most important part. Wearing mouth and nose protection, number one, and then distance is very, very important on top of all this what I have just said. So this is and this needs respect and a clear the measurement. It must be clear, to informed, communicated, that the people can understood why we are doing it. We are not punishing them. We just want to be on the safe side for the passenger A and for the passenger B, and even for C until Z. This must be respected by everybody. And you see how complicated this business is. I can send you this presentation if somebody wants it. My email address I will give you later. You can have all this. This is mask, ventilation, everything. Also you can see that we have a huge, enormous. We have done an enormous work on this issue, and it's still not finished. We are changing, and I will show you a list. You will be impressed what we are currently doing worldwide about all these measurements, and we are giving our airlines and everybody in our business an overview. In each country of the world, we know what is cooking there. We know what is cooking in Japan. We know what is important in Nigeria, in Gabon, in the Ivory Coast, and wherever. Yeah. This is why IATA, the International Association, is so important. Here you see that we have fact sheets to share with the airports, with the passengers, and with the airlines. We are giving advice for the timelines, and we have the protocol in a nutshell. This is very important that the European Commission has accepted this as a common protocol to ensure a very, very safe intra-European travel business. This is most important, taking into account that some countries are not 100% EU members, but they have accepted this. And the only one who is at the moment a little bit struggling is Britain, Great Britain, United Kingdom, because as you know, the Brexit is giving us a big stuff of work. It is unbelievable at the moment what happens there, because we have still no after Brexit solution still under negotiation. So then finally, for the COVID, I think you have plenty of questions. There is one interesting project running with IATA in Germany and Singapore. They call it a bubble, the intercontinental travel corridor between Singapore and Germany. And Mr. Kamp, the colleague from the minister, he gave a little overview about that. This is, it's not here, but the idea was to test a bubble that, for example, that Singapore and Germany, Munich, Frankfurt, that is nearly having this absolutely the same environment, to ensure that with the PCR test here, they accept it on the other side and vice versa. So this was a very, very interesting project, this so-called Singapore-Germany transition and bubble. And I hope that the outcome about this travel corridor will be a master example maybe for some others. So that, for example, it will be in the future maybe Munich and Zagreb, or Frankfurt and Moscow, or whatever, or Paris. And then you can travel safe, and then you have the same understanding of restrictions and everything. This is, I think this was the idea. Of course, especially on the intercontinental flights, because these flights are at the moment at the highest risk. As you know, we have nearly no or very, very low demand on one side. On the other side, we have only not the complex operation. So I hope I gave you a little bit overview, because I heard from the beginning, from the briefing, that you are very much interested in the COVID-19 situation. And questions?
Hi, I have one question, if I may.
Yes.
I'm not sure. Okay, I read about this quarantine-free flights, especially from I think it was from Italy to US. Do you think you can provide some insights on how it works, or what is the concept behind it?
Yeah, the concept, the idea was, as I said, the same like Germany and Singapore. They want to I would say, to test the situation, that they say, if the idea behind is, if a passenger is negative and starting in Roma, for example, or Milano, in Roma, and want to travel to the United States, why are they scared about that? They are scared because they don't trust. First of all, they don't trust each other. Yeah, this is the case. So the US FAA, the health agency in the United States, is very strict and very risky, and they don't want to have any risk. You know this, if you have been in the United States, they want to have to make a declaration. You have to carry with you some nutrition stuff and no food and everything. So they are very strict on this side, and to believe each other, they have started these kind of tests, and it looks, at least from January the 20th or 21st, maybe it will run a little bit better.
Thank you.
It's not finished, it is still in progress. We have, but plenty of good ideas and tests and projects are ongoing. More questions? You're shy.
I have a question. I saw that they have tried to implement this kind of bubble between Singapore and Hong Kong, but they are every time postponing the launch of this kind of bubble. So do you think in the end it will work or not? Because it seems that it's rather difficult to implement this kind of bubble, and these two cities are closed. So imagine if it's intercontinental flights.
Yeah, this is again. These projects are tests. They are demonstrations, and this is not easy, especially when it comes to Hong Kong and China. China is absolutely strict. They have a friend of mine. He came back from Shanghai. He was flown with his 747 with passengers. They are so strict, you will not believe. You are going out of the aircraft and you are getting the food, and then you are tested, and then you are guided from the crew, yeah, because he is a captain, and he is flying this aircraft in, and then he is locked. He is locked in the hotel, in a dedicated hotel at the airport for 30 hours. He's not allowed to go out of the room. They are not allowed. Yeah, they are not allowed to interact. So normally the crew are coming together in one room and celebrating or drinking or eating and together. Strictly not. So he never got the card. He was not given the card to open the door.
But Hong Kong is different of China, right?
Yeah, no, not anymore. Not anymore. They are sorry to say they are going more and more. It was in the past. You are sure? Yeah, of course. In the past it was like this, but they are going more and more in the Chinese way. Unfortunately, I have to say, I'm not going to the political issue here.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry. I hope it helps a little bit to give you the global overview about the situation. I'm pretty sure that when it comes to vaccination, that the airlines in the future, some airlines in the future will ask for vaccination if you are vaccinated or not. What do you think? Do you think it's correct to do this, or what is your opinion about this? You have to be vaccinated to fly. Any idea?
In my opinion, I would say that as airlines and aviation are very strict with security and everything, I think is going to be a measure that's going to be implemented in the following months until the situation is more controlled.
So you think that is a must to be vaccinated to fly in the future?
In my opinion, not. But as we saw, for example, in the Qantas airline wanted to implement that, and I'm pretty sure that other airlines are going to request that. But I don't think it's going to be very useful because in the upcoming months, only few people are going to get vaccinated. So I would say it would be more useful to do it after the summer or after some time, because right now it's only 1% of the population in February or March are going to be able to travel if they request that.
Exactly. This is my fear. Yeah, right. So other ideas, other opinions about vaccination. Alex?
Yeah, in my case, I think that it would be more useful to ask for the antibodies instead of the vaccine itself, because I think that a lot of people has already got it, like my case, and we are not going to, to use the vaccine if we are young. In addition to that, so that's what I think.
So you have to take a antibody pass with you, I would say, yeah.
Yeah, something like that, indeed.
Yeah, but in my case, I had in May, I was tested on the antibody side. On May, I had already antibodies, and then I was rechecked in July, blood tests, really blood tests, and the antibodies disappeared.
So then it will be good to maybe establish a period of time in which is valuable. But I mean, I think that getting a vaccine and having the antibodies, in addition to that, it's like I don't know, try to solve twice the same problem.
Yeah, and I guess more and more people will report that they are infected twice. I hope not. I hope not. But I have heard some people. It depends on how strong this infection was. Also, what they have told me is that my COVID in March, because I was in contact with some Chinese people to do the courses and training, it was only a very soft infection, so that I have produced some antibodies, and after 2 months they disappeared again, because then but nobody could tell me if I still in danger to get another infection. So I was happy, and I'm wearing everything, I'm doing everything, but it's not, I would say, 100% sure what will be the reaction of my body now if I'm infected twice.
Yeah, that's true. It's quite mysterious. Indeed, I got twice the COVID, so I was in exactly the same situation.
Bravo! Come on, we have to build up the club. The club of the second infectors.
Yeah. I have already undertaken like 7 PCR and I don't know how many tests.
That's, oh my God! Isn't it crazy time, huh?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen, nothing more on COVID? There's no question. In the chat, I see nothing. So then we have just another 10 minutes break, and then we are doing the rest of the and I will no, I want to show you something. Wait, I have another here. I want to share. I bring it to the other here, because otherwise, can you see the list?
Yes.
So I don't want to impress you. This is really the hardest work what my colleagues have ever done. We are having this enormous amount of work, 61-pager, where, as I promised to you, where we have all these countries and the regions with all the measurements, with all the financial issues, with the market situation, with the date and everything. So our management and our airlines, our members are able, also first of all, they are giving us the advice. We are searching the internet, of course. And then we are producing this, for example, here. We have Kenya. Yeah, we have Kenya. We have there is one from Nigeria. Here is Nigeria, for example. My dear. So we know the situation, the current situation in Nigeria, where we are. What is the economic, I would say, incentive from the government? Maybe where are the restart possible? The federal government has committed to the direct payroll support for the aviation companies and giving a 3 months period, and so on and so on. As this, you can see how important it is. On top of what I'm doing on Sesar, this is okay for the future, research and development and deployment. And what is IATA doing? We are the concentrator and the moderator and the library for each and everybody. What is important if you want to fly, for example, to the United Arab Emirates, what you have to carry and what they are doing at the moment. You can see. And if it's something new, then it is color coded in yellow, because this is then the latest update always. This is just an example to show you how complicated and what an enormous amount of information we are at the moment collecting and sharing with our members and with the states and with the airports. Okay?
Yes, thank you.
Because you asked me what you have maybe never heard about IATA and what we are doing, or at least we are responsible for taking the risk for the tickets as well. If, for example, if you're booking a ticket directly with the airline on the internet, we are not involved in some airlines, yes, in some others not. But if you're traveling via an agency, and we have 22,000 agencies worldwide, which they have at the moment, most of them have no work. We are taking the service for each and every agency, we are taking advantage of the booking, and we are connecting via the agency the passenger, so that the agency has not the 100% risk, because he knows that IATA will take care about the booking and the ticket. And this is why IATA is also very important. Of course, we are getting a little service charge. In the past, I can share this with you, this is no secret. In the past, our service charge was between 8 and 12, 15 cent, European cent per ticket. But we are taking the risk, for this little amount of money, but here the amount of tickets are giving a lot of, I would say, positive effects. So I'm very honest to share this with you, that that IATA is also taking care about this insurance. I would say it's a kind of insurance between the agency and the passengers and the airlines. Okay. So that's for the time being. I would say 3:15. We are coming back, and then we are finishing with some thoughts and in the last poll, and then you are released for the Saturday afternoon. It's okay? 3:15.
Okay.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
It's interesting. Few seconds. Everything is anonymous, yeah, please. Yeah? So, here's the result of the jury. It's nearly 50-50, 44 or 50. And one say no environmental impact, a bad feeling. It's not a surprise. This is the reality, because we all need to travel for plenty of private or business reason, and sometimes it's good to think twice and be a little bit more, I would say, thinking about the environmental impact, and maybe we can do it in a different way. This is also an opportunity. Huh? So, could you see it? I hope.
Yes.
Yes, we can.
Okay. So now it's again on me to ask you something, and I would just want to finish according to this climate problem, I would say, or issue. I want to share this screen with you. This is also important that, for example, a climate changing operational project, not only Sesar, it's also on tactical side and mental change and everything. IATA is a member of, I would say, plenty of interesting projects. And for example, if you are more interested, you can write me an email, please, and I will keep you informed about this Climb Up. This is an EU funding project which is taking care about, first of all, raising awareness about our work. We want to generate the understanding of what does it mean with climate change and climate operation. And then we want, and this is for you, also important, we want to engage you with these kind of projects, because this is funded. I get no, personally, you'll get no money for that. But for example, if you are a subject matter expert, if you have something to say, then it will be funded. Anything what you are doing on that, it is absolutely a must. to be part of these climate projects. And if you see something on LinkedIn or in Xing or wherever these kind of social medias, if you're interested, if you have time, if you want to come up with your idea, don't hesitate. We have websites, we have general public sites, we have policymakers with us to ensure that in the future we have no bad feelings when we are traveling, because there is a must, as we have seen, just to fly because we want to go home to our people, and traveling is freedom for all the people. This was my message to you. Don't have a bad feeling if you are traveling, please. So now I'm going to the list again to ask you what is your takeaway from today, because we have discussed as a conclusion, we have discussed Sesar, what I promised. We have discussed our IATA role in the worldwide aviation industry. We have discussed the use of airspace in a different way, with balloons, with satellites, with drones. We have discussed the operation, the classic operation between A380 and Boeing 747. We made a poll about what is the future of flying. Is it more hydrogen or is it electric? And finally, I have informed you about COVID-19, the current situation in Europe, and on the worldwide side as well, with a little impression. And I think we have agreed that traveling is not bad at all in general, but we have to think twice and wise if we are doing it, if we are planning something. And you are the future, and even after the Brexit, I think that it's better to work as a team, even in Europe and in the worldwide aviation community. So please, I'm asking. I'm beginning from the first. Thibaut, if you are still with us, what is your outcome, takeaway from today?
Hello.
Hello, Thibaut.
Well, the main outcome for me is a lot of uncertainty concerning COVID, basically. Let's be honest. But it has been that way for me for the past year, and the uncertainty is still here, apparently.
Okay, but you have a better understanding that what happens, that it is in your interest as passenger or as a citizen.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Okay, thank you. Julien, also from Toulouse, if he's still with us. He's shocked, he's not there. Okay, he's gone. Alvin from India, please, what is your outcome and what is your giveaway?
Hi. Yeah, so as I mentioned in the beginning of the session, definitely COVID was also one of the main concerns that I had. So you've shed some light on how the industry is going to pan out in the coming days, and it was also reassuring that you have, I mean, throughout your presentation, you've been giving us reassurance that the industry is ready to bounce back. I mean, the progress is slow, but I think with the data that you have given, we feel more. I don't know. I would say not completely. We know that it's a tough situation for everyone, but we hope that the industry is going to be back. Also, I did not know about the SCS concept, so it was really really insightful for me. Yep. And
okay,
I would actually take a look at the IATA homepage to understand more on how the vaccines are going to, because the last time I checked, I'm not sure who said it, but I remember reading an interview with one of the main person from the aerospace industry, saying that the current mobility in air or air logistics is not occupied to make the vaccine reach everywhere. So I was worried about it, but I will take a look at it after this session in EASA site.
Yeah. Very good, very good. By the way, Lufthansa Cargo has a dedicated plan already for distribution of this vaccination from Europe worldwide. So we are planning 800 flights already, 800 flights only for this transmission.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I was not aware of that also.
Yeah, it's
okay.
Enormous effort what they are doing at the moment to ensure that it's going fast and proper. Thanks, Alvin, for sharing your thoughts. Emiliano from Mexico. He left. Then I continue with Paulina, with the French Aéroport de Paris experience. Pauline? Okay. Then Gerardo. So they're all on afternoon tea. Charles, you are there?
Yeah, I am.
Please, what was important for you?
I was pretty interested into the Sesar project because I only had a large overview before, but going into details was pretty interesting, and yeah, I think it's a pretty relevant project, and I hope that it will be implemented and finished as soon as possible.
Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah, cross fingers and yeah. Please help me.
I'd like to.
Okay, Quentin, maybe he's there.
Yes, I'm there. Well, thank you for the Sesar presentation, because personally I didn't know this project. So that was very interesting, and also, as well as the IATA presentation with the different aspects of this organization, because I already have learned about it at TBS when I was in ENAC. But from other teachers, and I had one, maybe she's your colleague, I don't remember her name, but she was working for, I think, ICAO, if I remember well, so maybe you already seen her, like she's based in Toulouse, I think. So yes, that was interesting to have like another like course on these topics, and to learn other things about these organizations, and also to have your, I would say, your expert point of view about COVID impacts on aeronautics in general. That was very interesting. So thank you for this.
No, pleasure, avec plaisir. Merci. Gregorio, maybe you're there?
Yes, yeah, I'm here. So yeah, for me, the main takeaway is to, as you said, to work together within all the stakeholders, airlines, but also airports and agencies, government, and also, as you said, do clever things. And as you show us with Sesar or with COVID, but if there is a big issue, we can all fast together, and yeah, as you say, it's also kind of opportunity for the next step to have a better way to work together.
Yeah, that's correct. Well understood, dear friend. Nicolas, if you're there with the Belgium background, Erasmus. No, he left the stage. Victor had a problem with the microphone. Mandy from Toulouse.
Yes, hi again. So
what is your outcome? What have you taken most important for you?
So I think everything was very interesting. So thank you, because you made it interactive and everything with the questions. But the biggest thing I like is that, okay, you give us information about the COVID situation, but with an optimistic view. And that if we still want to go in this sector, we can make things better. And there's always a way to improve what's already there. So I think that was the most interesting part for me.
Yeah, you have well understood my message, because without you in the future we cannot continue, and you can help the others. You be a moderator, and not manipulator, but you can send out the message to others as well.
Yes.
Please. Then was Mayank from India, maybe.
Yeah, I'm here. First of all, I would like to thank you for this session. And the second thing is, before the start, I was expecting something to be covered related to the COVID, and the expectation has been fulfilled, I must say. And the only thing I'm just feeling pity about is what the people who are related or trained or licensed on A380 gonna do in the coming days because of this COVID, because I don't think so that it's very helpful for them, and the future prospects also. So can you just put a light on that, what these kind of people gonna do and what the companies has planned for them?
What the companies are doing for the cruise, for the 380 cruise, Also what I have, to be honest, in Europe, no airline, also it will be British Airways has parked the complete fleet. Air France has grounded the complete fleet. Lufthansa is the only one. As I said, they want to come back next year, or at least 2022. This is a plan at the moment to bring back 4 or 6 back from Frankfurt, flying around. Because if the demand is there, we need, of course, plenty of capacity. This is from this point of view. At the moment, there is no other airline. The only one who is working on nearly 50% is, for the next year is planned being in the air is Emirates, because Emirates is the biggest. They have more than 120 planes, and you can imagine they need this capacity, and they are flying already between London and Dubai, very hard on that. All the others at the moment are close to ground. Qantas and Singapore are still, I would say, waiting at the moment, and ANA as well. And so the situation is, I would say, not so positive for the A380 themselves. But as I said, I will never give up, because it's also a little bit my baby, and I cross all my fingers that there is a demand coming back, and then we need capacity.
Thank you.
Thanks for asking this, Mayank. This came from my heart.
No, because I'm thinking, because it's not easy to get some certification related to aviation. It's very, very tough for people to, qualify for all these licenses.
Yeah, you're right. So stay with us, please.
Yeah. Sure,
then Alex from Catalan.
Yep. Well, first of all, thank you so much for this interesting class. And with respect to what I found more interesting, I already knew a little bit the technologic complications of flying, let's say. But it's true that in this class, I think that we were more aware about the operative complications. So, for example, for me, it was especially interesting to know that there were some routes that were even avoided because there was some taxes involved just for the single fact of flying, crossing some borders and so on. So I think that with respect to that point of view, I have learned which complications emerge in aeronautic for, let's say, the operations nature, and the huge efforts that are directed towards, let's say, solving all these problems and in the end making the flight possible, not for all of us.
Yeah. Well understood. Well summarized. It's absolutely it's good. Charles, you are right. China Southern have restarted currently a little bit operation on the A380, but they are using it because they need the capacity in China for some services. You're right. That's good. Carlos?
It was in Paris like 2 days ago, I think. Or
Yeah, I saw it. Yeah. Thank you, Charles. Carlos?
Yeah, I remember you mentioned something about balloons and drones. I think this part was really interesting. And something I was keeping thinking about was about urban air mobility. I know you are working for IATA, and it's not to be confused with ICAO, but I was just thinking, do you think we are nearby for being able to certify this kind of aircraft, like the ones that they are producing, the German company, for example? As I've heard that recently in China, there has been some urban air mobility developments, and they have already been certified by the regulatory agencies.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is correct. We have a huge, enormous company and pressure. Lilium is one of these in Volocopter. Volocopter is working close with Airbus, and they are very close for certification in some areas. The problem is that the European airspace, especially in Germany, is not the best one because it's very, very opaque already, and the people are not so, I would say, interested to have all these wonderful 1,000 drones and air taxis above their heads. We have other areas, for example, in Asia or in the United States. They have already the first regulation in place, and they are flying already parcels to farmers. And this makes absolutely sense. Instead of driving with FedEx or so, or with the car, it's easier to bring a parcel, maybe say from 50 miles or 25 to the farmer's house for medicine or food or whatever. Or in Africa, we have fantastic things. And this is easier. Also in Europe, I'm a little bit reluctant because we are so packed here. But in general, I agree with you. This is the future, but not so intensive as it was maybe thought from the beginning, because we learned the lesson that the people don't like having flying objects above the head. This is the outcome of my study.
Yes, and one other thing, also unrelated to this. What about I hear recently that they certified the 737 MAX in the States. Do you think something similar is happening here in Europe?
Yeah, exactly. This was something what I raised from the beginning. Yeah. The 737 MAX, they have four top items four top items have to be solved. The first, the software has to be changed. The secondary and the third synthetic signal has to be taken into account by the software. Then we have to have this kind of switching, the new switch to cut off this MAX technology, and finally the technology has to be approved by all the registrators and associations, organizations, and the training is very important, because this was clearly stated by FAA and by IATA as well, that without training, and at least in the simulator, with one session dedicated to MAX, they will not allow. Also this is an enormous, I would say, amount of work, because don't forget, we have not enough 737 MAX simulators at the moment. You have to change all the simulators before you can do it, because otherwise you don't have the feature inside. Also it is possible also in Europe, but not this year, and not I would say so fast as it was maybe looking in the press. Also it will take a little bit longer time.
All right, thank you. It was really good presentation. Thanks.
Yeah. Yeah, just an overview about this. Some dedicated states, or we have here 2 and there 4, will become. But the final vote, and this is for all of you. The final vote is our voters are you, because if the passengers they don't want to fly with the 737 Max, there is there's no chance. And this is something what is still the uncertainty at the moment in the industry. If, for example, the passenger, the announcement is made before the flight is taking off, welcome you to the 737 Max. We have some doubts that people are crying or they want to go out. Also, just very careful. I don't want to touch it to make it overturning this button, but this can happen. Carlos, thank you.
Thanks.
So, Faustino, this was a French colleague from the bank background. Then we had Raphael.
Yes. So first of all, I wanted to thank you for your insight on on so many different topics. It was nice to see the different protocols being set for to recover from the pandemic. And like Carlos, I actually enjoyed a lot the part on UAV and unmanned vehicles, drones, and balloons. I think that this could create new business models that could help the industry as a whole recover. So thank you.
Welcome. It was a pleasure working with all of you. Benjamin?
Yes.
From Brussels?
Yes, I'm here. So thank you for taking the time for us and taking the time to sharing your experiences in the industry. It was very interesting. So maybe a takeaway I have is that you insisted a lot about being curious in the industry and having a positive mindset. So this is, I think it's really good to see that after so many years in the industry, you're still so curious about everything, and it's definitely a takeaway and a mindset to keep. And on that note, I think that talking so much about UTM was interesting, and I didn't know that it was the part of the industry that had the biggest momentum at the moment. So maybe we could all look more into that in the future. And I also didn't know that flying drones close to airports had such a huge cost for actors of the industry. So that was interesting to know also. And that's it for me.
Good. Yeah, very well copied. This was an enormous amount, and I hope that everybody who is flying in the future with an unmanned vehicle is respecting the rules, and then we have no problem with that, I hope, especially in the area of the airport. Thank you, Benjamin. Valentin? I saw your name, but it's not there anymore. Valentin. Audrey?
Yes.
Are you still with us? Anything what you want to share with us, or you have another question, or you like to have something?
What I would have to say, I don't know. Maybe I'm like you. I'm positive with the coronavirus situation. Maybe more. I will like to see all this industry be back to the normal as soon as possible, as I said, because of this impact and because of my future work, or maybe I will not be hired because of this. So this is why it was interesting for me to see the impact and maybe some of the views on this.
Okay, thank you for your thoughts. And I saw the comment from Valentin. His Wi-Fi just dropped, and I have sent to all of you in the chat. I have my email address. Also, it's mohr@iata.org. If you need something I can do, or you want to have a presentation on top of that, I will share some with the TBS, with the school, from Monday, because I'm on vacation at the moment, and I will do it next week. Then we have Clément, if he's still with us. If not the case, then we have Daya.
I can say something if I
Valentin,
missed my if I missed my turn, because I just disconnected.
Please.
Yeah, so I want to say thank you, and your optimism is kind of reassuring for the future. And I think that's what was the most transparent from you during this presentation. And it was also very interesting to see and learn about the intricateness of the regulated airspace over Europe compared to the United States. I didn't know it was so complicated here. And I was glad also to have some practical examples of the flight path and good practices for the approaches of airports, and all of this part of the program that is really practical example, and that's what I was looking for in this presentation.
Good. I'm happy to hear this, that it fulfills your expectation. Thank you, Valentin. Then Daya or Stinkto, whoever is available.
I'm available. So your teaching was very insightful. Thank you very much. I never knew about the loans for internet and all, but now I know.
Good. Very good.
And concerning the COVID situation and the effect on airlines, I personally feel that a lot of aviation companies are still going to be affected, whether or not the vaccine is there, because we're not sure of how acceptable the population is to the vaccine. So it's more or less a 50-50.
Yeah, you are right. It is. It will be a long journey, but I'm pretty sure that the clever guys will make it sure that first of all the most voluntary and people are working in hospitals, and the elderly people will get some first on the first run, and then there's the second one, because we have to expect also some complications maybe, and this should be also taken into account for the next steps. But I think it's we are on track in general. Thank you to you. Thank you. Sarah, if you're with us.
I have nothing to say, but it was super pleasant. Thank you very much.
Thank you. It's very kind. It was a pleasure. Avec plaisir. Then we have our Chinese colleague, Nalini, if she is still with us. Time difference.
Me?
Yeah.
Have you ever called me? I didn't notice that.
No, yeah, I just called you.
Okay.
Anything what you want to add, or what you have taken into account, or you need something additional?
No. The first, very thank you for the lecture today, and it's very insightful and inspiring. And the point is, I really like the survey during the class, since the results of the survey always interesting.
Yeah.
And I really interested in the air transport management, but unfortunately, if you want to work in this field, you have to get through some systematic training, but which I don't have. And that's okay, because I can fear the working in the aviation industry is extremely cool in my opinion.
Yeah, it is. It is cool. Of course, it will be. Also, it will be different, but it will be cool. Please, you are young. You can do it. Don't stop your education, exercise, and training, please.
Okay, I will try, but you know, it will take a long time to get through the systematic training to work in the ATM field.
Yeah, you're right. But don't misunderstand. My journey is not over. After 48 years in the business,
I'm
still
that's
learning.
really cool. That's really cool. Since, you always have to improve yourself to get advanced in your area.
Yeah. Never give up. That's good. Fine. Yeah, that's good. Very promising from your side as well. And I have the last name here on my list was Davide from Spain.
Yes, I'm here. As all my colleagues said, it was very insightful. I personally didn't have much idea about all these projects and all these players. So it was very insightful and the presentation was really easy to follow and yeah, I really enjoyed it. So thank you very much.
It was a pleasure. Amigos, friends, new student friends, I hope you will have your career in the future in whatever kind of business positive. And if I have missed somebody, please call me and I give you the word.
Yes, I would like to add something.
Nicola.
Do you hear
Please.
me?
Yes.
Okay. So thanks. I wanted to thank you for the course. I was very happy to learn more about the Sesar project, what it involves, and all the stakeholders, the investments. And since I'm considering starting a career in maybe as a air traffic controller, I wanted to ask future of this job. So you mentioned the challenge of data link, I think it was, so the exchange of information between the pilot and the controllers, and that currently it was a disaster. So what do you think, how will evolve in the future this job?
There is a good question because the colleagues are learning a lot about the current situation, not only about COVID and the crisis. Also, they have learned a lot from the pilot's point of view, because don't forget, the pilots, the flight engineers, and all the people, they have been in the same situation a few years ago, when we have been converting the, for example, this A300, A310. Maybe you have heard about that. The first A300 was flown with 4 people, and then later at the end it was only 2. So this is an improvement with more automatic technologies. You can still work. You have still enough work if the capacity is there, but you have to rethink. And it's very clever. You have to be very clever and smart to be transferred and to be really on track, on the evolution track. I'm not talking about revolution here because this is something different. Just don't stop to ask yourself the question, is this job the right one at the right moment? And not to be disappointed if we have a general change, but it's still one of the best job, very complex, very stressful, but the partnership between controller and pilots was always stimulating issue, and it's very, very useful also in the future, maybe in a different way via SATCOM and so on, but it is really, there's a future inside. Please don't stop working on that.
Thank you.
So I think the round is completed, and again, I wish you all the best for your first of all for your study in TBS with your teachers and everybody in Toulouse. I would like to see you and to shake hands and asking more and more, but it's not possible at the moment. So take care. have a good December, have a good weekend first, and then a fantastic Christmas season, maybe with less people around you, but with the same emotions. And don't forget, Zoom is helping a lot. We have seen it today. And I hope you can still do your job in one or the other way also in the future. And I have just started my video again for you. Please.
Bye.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
Bye.
Thank you very
Bye
much.
Take care.
bye.
Weekend.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Take care.
Pleasure.
Thank you so much.
Ciao.
Bye bye. Thank you.
Bye bye.